What is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty. Look, I'm still on vacation, but that doesn't matter, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a year-round thing. It never stops. So we got a good show for you guys today. Appreciate you all getting up this morning. Let's talk about it. Today, TJ Watt talking about his massive contract that he got last night, the pros, the cons, ins and outs of everything as far as TJ Watt. Then we're going to talk about TJ Watt's expectations moving forward. Like, what are we expecting from him moving forward? What is it? It's a 3-year deal. We'll get into all of that as far as what we expect out of TJ. And then potential moves. What's left? Like, are the Steelers done? Are they doing anything else? What's the next move? So we're going to get into all of that and more. Again, I appreciate all of you guys getting up this morning and jumping on. Like I said, I couldn't do it last night, so I apologize for that. But we're here today. We're here today. So we're talking Steelers football. So I appreciate you all being in here, man. Let's get after this thing. You all know how to help if you want to help support the channel. Super chats are wide open. You see my man Zay Curry is in here, 3-month as a member. Memberships obviously are wide open as well. So if you want your comment, question, or rant up on the screen, you know how to do that. Let's do it. So TJ Watt signs a big extension last night or yesterday. 3 years, 128 million, 108 or 23 million, 108 guaranteed, 41 million a year, 3-year deal. And for a lot of people, that's kind of what people thought. They thought, well, maybe you stretch it out, you make it a 5-year deal, but you have 2 voidable years. The Steelers are like, no, let's just do it for 3 years. And I think TJ may have wanted it a little bit longer than that too, but it is what it is. So 3 years, I think that's about the max that you're paying somebody that kind of money. It's a big contract. Don't get me wrong, he deserves every penny. I think everybody, whatever you get paid, you deserve every penny. I don't begrudge anybody for going and getting their money, and neither should you. So, hey, Brenda, how you doing? Appreciate you being in here this morning. What's going on, Howard? But so the amount that TJ's getting, not a big deal to me. I think it's a good deal for everybody. And I never thought that a deal wasn't going to get done. See, I think that's a lot of people thought that he wasn't. Oh well, he's holding out, and I'm like, the Steelers had a lot of leverage. It's like, okay, first off, TJ, you got a year left on your contract. We want to extend you and give you more money, but it's got to make sense for us too. And that's part of this thing. And then the next part is, I don't think he wanted to. I mean, he wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. That means something to him. And it should. It should mean something to him. And he didn't want to leave. He wants to be able to say, okay, we're winning playoff games while I'm here. I don't want to go somewhere else, win playoff game there, or whatever the case may be. He wants to do that here. And with this roster, they may be able to do that. They very well may be able to do that. So I think it was a great deal for both sides. What's going on, Wild Bill? Appreciate you, man. And Lamar, what's going good? What's going down with you? But yeah, man, I just like the deal. I really like the deal. It made sense, 41 million a year. It put him over Myles Garrett, which I think he wanted to be. Okay, good for him. And it's good for the Steelers. He's not locked up for 5 years, or we're having to pay a 35 or 36-year-old $40 million, when they're not productive anymore. That wasn't going to be conducive. But my whole thing is, and it kind of floats into our next topic, is the expectations. Like, well, the clock kind of starts now. Because how many more years do you think that TJ Watt has left at this level? Now, I think he could probably play 5 or 6 more years, but at this level, how long? So that's the whole thing. is I'm just trying to figure out how long can you get? And I think the Steelers understood that, and that's why they made the contract a 3-year deal. So I think that's the thing. I think it was 3 years. We'll look at it then. And I think he probably wants to stick around, but maybe he does stick around in Pittsburgh after the contract's over, but he takes less money because his production isn't where it needs to be, or whatever the case may be. But I like the deal. It gets it settled. Now we don't even have to have that kind of distraction at training camp. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have any of that. And I think that's a good thing. Not that he was never going to sign, because I don't think there was ever a period, at least not to me, that he was never going to sign. But I think as long as he's there, engaged, people are learning from him, just leading that defense, I'm fine with it. But with that, like I mentioned, okay, now what? It's time to put up or shut up. You got this money. Expect people like me and the Steelers almighty family to hold you accountable. And that comes with the territory. I love that you got every cent, but we're going to hold you accountable to that. No 8 sack seasons, no 10, not even 10 sack seasons. That for $40 million or $41 million, I got to have more. Now, the one thing that I will say is that the last time TJ got paid, he went out and set the sack record. And, that's literally against Steelers almighty philosophy. Usually we say a guy that gets paid that first year, he takes his foot off the gas. TJ didn't do that. He got paid and put his foot all the way down on the accelerator. Set the NFL sack record. Okay. Then the next year, well, he got hurt week 1. Because that's what people will say. Well, what about the next year? He only had 5.5. He played 10 games. He got hurt week 1. He wasn't healthy all season. So, and I don't know. It's Torch is saying he's been seeing comments about him being injury prone. Yeah, he's missed 11 games in his career. And I get it that he's gotten hurt at some inopportune times. I'll give you that. But the guy's not injury prone. I mean, and not to mention the game that he got hurt against the Ravens 2 years ago, the last game of the year, that was a freak accident. I mean, it's football. Things like that happen. But, man, that's injury prone. He's just standing. I mean, he's running, playing football, and somebody falls into his leg that he doesn't even see. I mean, that's come on, guys. That's not being injury prone. So that's not being injury prone. But I guess I could see that. But the expectations, man, something bit me on my neck. Woo! Being outside on vacation, brother. That's what it is. But as far as the expectations for TJ, I had talked about it a couple of times, and 3 years down the road, I said he still needs to be getting 15 sacks a year. I'm not backing off of that. I'm not, because you get paid top dollar, you got to perform at top dollar. That's just the way it works. And if you don't, there's a problem. There's a damn problem. So, that Egyptian, where's Big G? He is on the Big Show. So I appreciate you saying that, man. I appreciate that. But Big G is doing better. Be on the lookout for Big G on the Big Show on Tuesday, man. Be on the lookout. So what's going on, Eric Banks? We appreciate you. But yeah, the expectations for TJ Watt, I don't think they got any higher. I just think they are. You need to be a top 2 defensive edge in the National Football League. Period. There can't be, well, he had 10 sacks. No. Can't be that. And for that matter, for the whole Pittsburgh Steelers in general, can't be that. You know, again, you paying this kind of money for a defense, needs to be a top 5 defense. I don't care. I don't care. You can't pay this kind of money for defense and be 11, 14. And I know some people are going to say, well, they finished 7th last year. Man, those numbers were so overinflated and conflicting. We saw the Steelers defense. Did that look like the 7th best defense in the National Football League last year? Hell no. And by the end of the year, it wasn't even a top 20 defense. It looked awful. So Josh Suttle says a 12 sack minimum. I say 15, but I don't know if I could live with 12, but I wouldn't be cussing them out over 12. I wouldn't be. So, but we'll see. We'll see. But it's a good investment, in my opinion. It's a real good investment. And I think this is just something that the Steelers needed to do. I think it's something they needed to do. And get it over with. Don't let it drag on into training camp, man. Get this thing done and get it over with. And let's play football. We got a chance here. We really do. The Steelers have a chance. So it's just a matter of, putting it all together. So don't wait. Don't wait at all. So just so you guys know, the purple badges with the crowns are all top 3 contributors as far as comments, likes, and etc. YouTube's put those out there and are new. So if you all see that, that's what those badges mean. Just so you guys know. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Somebody going berserk. Anyway, the next move, man. I know somebody going just absolutely ape shit. Jiminy Christmas. I just didn't want to get kicked off. But anyway, yeah. What's the next move for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Doesn't have to be offensive line depth. It's not that I've given up on wide receiver 2. This is where we are. This is what we're doing. I think it's got to be wide receiver depth. Wide receiver depth, maybe a safety. We'll see. So, wide receiver depth, maybe a safety. 43 says not going to be a top 5 until we get an amazing defensive coordinator. The other teams have that. I mean, I don't know. Matter of fact, I don't believe that. 43, I don't believe that. I think they just have to have some innovation. But the Steelers absolutely have the players to have a top 5 defense. Have some more innovation. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're not capable of having the innovation. Maybe that's part of it. But either way, just because they don't, what they do and don't have doesn't change my expectation. And I don't think it should change yours either. You're paying this kind of money, you need to have a top 5 defense. I don't care who your coordinator is. That's not my problem. You need to figure that out. But you can't pay this kind of money and then have the 11th best defense. That just doesn't fly. Just doesn't fly. So, no, it's a bottled water, a box water, kind of like box wine that they gave me. So, but we'll see. But yeah, it's you can't have that. You can't. The defense just has to be better. The defense just has to be better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Got to be better. Got to be better. And not only saying that, do they have to be better? And TJ Watt's got to lead that charge. I'm not saying it's all up to him, but I think TJ's got to lead that charge. Got your money? It's time to show out. Got your money? Time to show out, you know. And you can say that for other side. DK Metcalf, got your money, time to show out. You know, you got paid. It's time. Roger Jones, you're playing your natural position. That's what you've said you wanted to do all along. Time to show out. You know, no more of the, well, he's playing right and, oh, well, he got hurt. No more. Because the right tackle position didn't cause him to have bad effort. The right tackle position didn't cause him to have bad technique, not knowing what he's doing, whining. That's not what the right tackle position caused. You know, getting whipped physically because you're not good enough, that's one thing. But getting whipped because of lack of effort, and that's what it was with Broderick. No more excuses. No more excuses. And I hope he is great. So, and Brenda's right. You need a good offense to rest the D. Pause. But you are correct. Absolutely, we got to play complementary football. But what are some of the potential moves that are left for the Pittsburgh Steelers? You know, I think safety, offensive line depth. I mean, I know everybody's going to scream wide receiver too. I just don't think the Steelers are going to do that. I just don't. You know, and I could be wrong. And I'm not saying they don't need it. I'm just trying to live in reality. You know how I always say live in reality? And in my reality, I don't think the Steelers are going to do that. Whether that's right or wrong, I just don't think they're going to. I think they might try to add some offensive line depth, but I think is a must. And a safety. Safety. And depending on how they're planning on using Ramsey, but I still think they need a safety. You know? If nothing else, just for depth. Just for depth. You know? Jamal says TJ has to show up late in the season and quit putting up goose eggs and all defensive stats is unacceptable. You are exactly right. We saw that a couple of times last year from TJ. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, something bit me on the back. So I'm like, ugh, it's killing me. But yeah, TJ got to start showing up in late season, you know. And he was hurt, but y'all know my philosophy, man. I understand if you're hurt that we're not going to get your best, but I shouldn't get your worst. And I would venture to say that a guy named TJ Watt, as good as he is, when he has no stats, like none, that's not good. That's not good. So, only my opinion, and I could be wrong, but I'm just guessing that's not good. So, I'm just guessing that's not good. Got to do better. Got to do better. So, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What else about TJ? What other expectations? As far as TJ is concerned, now I don't know if my neighbor got bit. He may got beat, not bit. Yeah, Wild Bill, I don't know if I'd be scared about McCormick just yet. That was one football game. Now, granted, it wasn't great all year, but I think McCormick will be okay. I think he'll be okay. I think he's going to get better. That's a big jump from FCS football to NFL starter, especially when you're a fourth-round pick and you're not expected to play. It's a big jump. It's a big jump. My man, Leonard, what's going on, sir? Says Khan is being patient for wide receiver 2 because teams will cut players after preseason. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. No reason to jump the gun. No, and again, also, hey, Andre Coleman, what's going on? But yeah, you can always just be patient and wait and also see what you have. Maybe those guys surprise you. And you're like, you know what? These guys are okay. We don't need to go out there and get anybody else. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll see. Yeah, Dylan Cook should add some depth, Howard. He got hurt last year. Um, and I'd be willing to give him a chance because I don't know, man. Calvin Anderson scares the hell out of me. He got in for 2 plays last year, gave up a sack, and then his guy just whipped him on a tackle. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So, but TJ's got to do a lot, man. Robert says, according to Sports Tracks, 25.288 million under the cap. I mean, you know, signing TJ Watt, that's even more money on the cap. I don't trust him. But we'll see. We'll see. And yes, you are exactly right, Eric. Jonnu does take a ton of snaps from the slot. And he needs to continue that. I mean, he's familiar with Arthur Smith's offense, so I love it. Wild Bill, can we wait on the safety? I think so. Unless those guys are just terrible, which maybe they are. But that's the whole thing. You get into training camp and you start to see, okay, can these guys play? Oh, no, they can't. Yeah, we need to call Justin Simmons. We need to call Julian Blackmon. We need to make some phone calls right now. Or, you know what? These guys aren't half bad. We can stick it out with these guys. And, you know, it's just a waiting game. Just a waiting game to see what happens. And me personally, training camp starts next week. Just wait. See what you got. See what you got. You know, great. But no reason to force anything right now. There's absolutely no reason to do that. Wide receiver 2, safety, no reason to force it now. If you haven't already done it, there's no reason to force it. Now, I'm not saying that you still can't make those moves. I'm just saying I don't think you need to force it. So, I don't think we need to force it. 43 doesn't like the offense, saying what really needs is field awareness, no more 3rd and 12 screen passes. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, nothing makes me more mad than when it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, and the Steelers throw a wide receiver screen or a tunnel screen. I mean, I get playing down and distance to an extent, but you, as an NFL offense, you should be able to go get 3rd and 12. Like, that's not an unattainable thing. Like, it's 3rd and 12. Oh, you might as well punt. No, absolutely not. Now, if, again, complimentary football, if it depends on down and distance and all that stuff, time, and you just need a field goal or something like that, I get that. And you're wanting to get closer to make it an easier field goal. I get that. But on our 40-yard line, 3rd and 12, we need to be going for that and trying to get it. Too many times the Steelers don't do that. It drives me insane. So, no, Brenda, I haven't heard any news on Slay. I think that was just more rumor than anything. Just more rumor than anything. Leonard says, I need to see what type of offense Authors is going to use with the new addition. I'm optimistic. I am too. So I am too. I'm optimistic. And Kenneth Jones got a point talking about they won't do 3rd and 12 screens with Rodgers. I think a lot of that has to do with Mike Tomlin not trusting the quarterback. I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, you didn't see a whole lot of 3rd and 12s from Big Ben and the Steelers are running wide receiver screens. You didn't see a lot of that. It's because he trusted Ben. He hasn't trusted a quarterback since then. So you're right. He's going to trust his quarterback. And again, if you're not going to trust Aaron Rodgers, then why is he here? You know, why is he here? Doesn't make any sense to bring him here and not trust him. Ryan says, do you actually like this roster a lot more than last year, or do you still see our coaching staff holding us back? Well, I don't think the coaching staff has anything to do with the roster. That's number one, on whether you like the roster. There is no question that the Steelers roster is better than last year. I mean, you can go down the list. You can go down position by position. It's better than last year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, whether you think the coaching staff can coach them, that's a different conversation for a different day. But or it's a different conversation altogether. But as far as just the roster itself, yeah, the Steelers roster is better. This team is better than last year's team. Then no doubt. No doubt. So yeah, that's the difference. This roster is just a better roster than what we put out there last year, man. Which is good. Which is good. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's crazy. Big old bird flying around, making me nervous. I don't like it, people. But I'll be back on Monday, man. I will be back in the saddle. We'll be live Monday night. We're going over, breaking down what's left for training camp. Because training camp is literally next week. I'm excited. I'm excited. So for what training camp can bring or is going to bring, I can't wait. Cannot wait. So I'll be back on Monday. Big Show be back on Tuesday. Big G doing a lot better. Like I said, when he's back, he'll be back, and I'll let him explain everything to you. So I appreciate all of you guys, the well wishes that everybody gave to Big G, man. That means a lot. It means a lot. He's part of the family here at Steelers Almighty. Glad he is doing better. So, but on that note, people, I'm going to run out of here. So I got some more stuff to do today. If anything else happens, I'll try to get back on live. I appreciate you guys getting up and sticking with this, man, while I've been on vacation. So thank you guys again for participating. Thank you guys for your support, and I will talk to you soon. You guys have a good one.